The friendships that you see online may not be real.
Today we're going to be doing the best friend challenge.
YouTube ensembles, groups in general, and duos are a viewer favorite.
We own Smosh.
One could even argue that the biggest and fastest way to win the game of social media
We have such a strong friend group around.
is to start something with your friends. While the potential upside is largely exponential, we've also seen kingdoms crumble due to irredeemable conflicts. But why? Were we seeing an example of a bad friend? Can friendship even exist in the context of business? Or were these people never friends to begin with? Hey guys, it's Zana. Now why does this matter? Cause I'm mad! Someone accused me of being someone's friend and you'll never believe why they thought this. Wait till the end of the video to find out. Obviously, friendship content is top tier and exists outside of social media. You got the mystery gang, your buddy comedies, the girl version of that. And then there's this weird Disney Channel combo that I've never seen in real life, where it's two girls and one guy. I've only seen this where the guy is gay or the guy has a crush on one of the girls. Anyway, today we're gonna look at several influencer friendships and their controversies, if they had any, and speculate whether or not this friendship was real or just set up for the cameras. Yes, I did say speculate because we don't know these people in real life. This video is just for fun. And I hope you more use it to examine your own friendships, why certain things end, and why certain things last. Before we identify these potential fabricated friendships, it's important to understand why influencers would fake a friendship in the first place.
It's every day, bro.
Being in a successful group channel has always been one of the fastest ways to grow your own social media portfolio.
How much of your success was driven not because of them, but through that collaboration and through that engagement with other people?
I think a really good amount. That was the idea. Like, we're a team.
You have groups like O2L and the Vlog Squad. If one member gets popular, the rest of the members get residual fame from their popularity. You also have a lot of duos like Hank and John Green,
I knew you were going to destroy me at that.
Rhett and Link, Tana and Brooke. You don't even have to formally become a group. You can just collaborate and be in each other's videos. Like the old school Brit crew.
I'm joining all these YouTubers.
The reason I think these groups are so appealing really comes down to how the group interacts with each other.
Mr. Rupert!
It is possible for these video concepts to be done by a solo creator, but there is something about the way Dan responds to Phil and vice versa that just makes it even more entertaining.
I'm a naughty puppy.
You look like a gay bulldog.
Their dynamic is why the audience watches. You see this when the unfortunate thing happens, the group disbanding for whatever reason. This can result in each individual member losing viewership. The dynamic is no longer there, so I'm not watching. This genre, if you will, is so massive that one of the most popular and entertaining dynamics has over 21 million subscribers, the Sidemen. The viewership and potential revenue that these channels are able to garner should illustrate why there may be an incentive to fake a good friendship instead of leaving it. Okay, so believe it or not, there really is no solid definition of what friendship means. According to the APA, it's a voluntary relationship between two or more people that is... Just pause to read the whole thing. The point is, this is a super vague definition. I've even seen people online argue on what they consider a good friend. Some people are like, oh yeah, I only see my friend once a year, and even that's a lot. And then you have others who are like, no, we do something every week. So I don't know, maybe a friendship is like this matching type thing where you only become friends if you match someone's friendship style. But that subjective definition of friendship is not going to help us today. Luckily, there are several features research has found that make friendships more likely to develop and more likely to last. We can use those to examine whether or not these online friendships were real or fake. Oh, but I'm not the only one who's going to be doing this. You're going to be doing this too. If you followed me on Instagram, which if you're not, why not? I showed you guys a bunch of influencer dynamics, and you too voted whether or not you think these were friends in real life or probably not. It's gonna be fun to see whether or not we agree. The first dynamic we're going to look at is Theo Von and Brittany Broski. Easy one. Probably not. You guys pretty much said the same thing. They've done one podcast together and it seems like this is their first time meeting, but I wanted to bring this obvious example up to show you that what people perceive as a genuine friendship is actually just chemistry. It's obvious from the get-go that their fans agree they do have chemistry, meaning there is a natural, spontaneous, and mutual connection between both of them. The interaction seems effortless.
You guys are similar, I think. You guys would
We
have
do
a really
kinda
nice
look alike.
time. You think?
We look a little related.
Oh, I think maybe it's her. You guys both have blue eyes.
Yeah.
You have blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the same facial hair as him.
Oh, damn. Well.
Recent colleagues give examples of what chemistry looks like: linguistic matching, nonverbal synchrony, and voicing similar thoughts or ideas. While chemistry is very surface level, you may have it with one person but not another, it is one of the fundamental predictors of whether or not a friendship will develop. At its core, it's based on social skills and how your interaction style complements another person's.
You need to act appropriately.
You see that here.
Cold Stone Creamers.
You did that?
Huh?
You did
I'd
that?
shop the shit with a credit card. I'm looking to fucking get weird, boy.
The most infamous example where chemistry was lacking is Bill Burr on the H3 podcast.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. The internet's too weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
Yeah, by
somehow
all means,
compromise your
keep talking
privacy.
about it. Is there any way you can cut this out? I'm honest, dude. Like,
Seriously?
Yeah, no, dude. There's fucking lunatics out there.
Okay.
Well,
Off the air, I'll cut.
all right.
Jeez.
Now again, it's pretty obvious that Brittany and Theo aren't friends, but I really want to hit home the concept of chemistry, because this is what I believe most people interpret as friendship when it's not.
When it's really about chemistry, we're still on the surface. You don't really know about them yet. You just know you guys had a good time, maybe you had fun at this event.
Oh, they seem to be getting along on camera, they're being vulnerable, they must be friends. In reality, we don't even know if they spend quality time with each other outside of their content. Next, we have Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas. Oh no, you guys, I'm so sorry. I don't agree with you. I'm going with probably not. I know, but think of friendship like a chair and all the features we're going to talk about as the legs of the chair. If one of these pillars is weak or not present, the chair collapses. The reason my answer is probably not is because the notion opposites attract is actually more of a pop culture myth.
People asked for our autographs. We were like puppets. We were blowing this in and out up.
And it's what Ethan and Trisha's podcast Frenemies played on. Black versus pink, ordinary versus glam, high energy versus chill energy, and so on. Opposites might attract initially due to novelty.
How many people have you had sex with in your life?
10.
Well, that's exciting. I'm happy for you. I literally thought you were like a virgin when you met Eli.
I have a kid.
But there isn't much research that supports any long-term sustainability in those relationships.
This is really nice.
We become more friends. Everyone always says that. They're like, oh, they're becoming friends.
I wonder when it's gonna fall. There's gonna fall apart though. Something's gonna happen.
Oh, but that's like everybody in my life. That's like inevitable.
However, opposites do make it really entertaining for the audience.
What do you mean we don't need gravity? I'm curious about that
We just
statement.
don't need it.
But like, what do you mean?
The moon doesn't have gravity.
It does. All bodies, all celestial, all bodies,
All
you
mass.
have gravity.
Anything with mass has gravity.
In fact, some would say you have a sizable amount of gravity.
What's that mean? I'm fat? You're calling me fat
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, attractive. Thank you, Moses.
Well, you're fat. You're fatty.
Doesn't bother me.
Keep eating, fatty.
Oh my God.
Not only are the views a testament to that, but the fact people still create edits, lip sync to the podcast, and explore its dynamics speak to its value. The chemistry was there.
When we were chefs, they're like, wow, they look so much bigger standing up.
They?
Yeah.
Oh, include me. I did look massive. I remember that. I was like,
It sucks.
we should just rename it Two Fatties Eating Pork or some shit. Two big fat porky fat fuck. You know, me and Trisha have a really funny chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
On all of your visits.
Okay, I'm going to add an asterisk to my decision, though. I do think they both felt like they were friends because there was a lot of emotional moments and conflict resolution that went on in the podcast. But friendship is more than that, and we're going to see that as the video progresses. The fact that they were so different just led to too much conflict.
And I feel like you're gaslighting me, to be honest, saying that you're not like frustrated about
But
that.
I'm not.
Because it really is a source of like every time something comes up where it's like, I hired somebody or this, that, and like, oh, you don't do that much on the show.
I'm bringing attention to it. I'm not upset.
And conflict is what makes a show great.
Is there something wrong with having a nanny?
In my eyes, yes.
But it's also not good for friendship if it happens all the time.
You're way crazier than me.
That's so not true.
No, but you're way crazier than me.
Rather than opposites attract, similarity is actually a strong predictor of friendship. If you think of Ethan and Trisha outside of the podcast, what would they have in common? What would they even talk about? In my opinion, this is why a lot of friendships fizzle out once you leave your job or you graduate from school. Sometimes the only thing that made you similar is that you had the same class. And once you both leave this context, you find it hard to talk to this person. Your conversations always go back to the old days and nostalgia. As you know, Ethan and Trisha's final conflict could not be resolved, and even goes beyond frenemies. There wasn't enough of a similarity for them to find common ground and resolve conflict.
I had this feeling in my heart that I need to step away from frenemies, and it's really, really with a heavy heart that I say that. Because it is kind of like it's been my stability, my regular thing once a week that I like absolutely look forward to.
I admit that I am one of those people who wishes frenemies would come back, but seeing how both are thriving separately, it's probably best for it to stay as a happy memory that ended at its peak.
As a friend, I have come to love and appreciate Trisha. As a partner, I think she's one of the funniest people I've ever known, one of the most talented people, one of the most dynamic and entertaining people I've ever known. And so creating frenemies with her is going to be one of the all-time highlights for me. It's been such an amazing ride. I've learned and grown from it so much on a personal level from her and from you guys, the audience. Obviously, there's a lot of new people that have come for the show, and I feel like I've become a better person for this experience.
Next, we are going to look at Colleen Ballinger and Rosanna Pansino. Okay, I genuinely thought we were going to disagree here, but I agree with you guys 100%, and I mean 100%. The fact that your votes are pretty much split between probably not and we're friends but not anymore, yet still leaning to probably not, reflect my thoughts to a T. Like, if I had to define the relationship, it would be coworker friends, or at the very least, shallow friendship. I just didn't see them as good friends, which was very confusing because when Colleen got into her controversy, like the hot water or whatever, apparently fans did not agree. Viewers were calling out almost every influencer who was perceived as Colleen's friend, including Rosanna. In addition to the interpersonal characteristics we've already discussed, there are also environmental elements that impact the likelihood of a friendship to develop, one of which is proximity. Yup, it is exactly what it sounds like. You are more likely to become someone's friend if you are physically closer to them. Think about it. If you live in the same apartment complex, you have more opportunities to interact with that person compared to if they lived in a complex across the street. Additionally, your mutual environment means that you likely share many similarities with that person. Lastly, according to the mere exposure effect, just being exposed to that person repeatedly makes you like them more. I've noticed this a ton in the YouTuber influencer space. Location facilitates friendship. The Brit crew, for instance, many of them are still friends today. However, the people they have seemed to lose connection with were the American YouTubers. Tyler Oakley, Joey Graceffa, etc. People with long-distance friendships are punching the air right now. Now, when it comes to YouTube videos and social media in general, continually being featured in someone's content has the ability to create the illusion of proximity. While the videos Rosanna and Colleen made were years ago, this has really cemented a friendship image between them in the mind of their fans. They have great chemistry on camera. They seem to have a lot of similarities. Their relationship is reciprocal because they have a similar degree of social influence. However, at the end of the day, we don't actually know how much time they spend with each other outside of filming, so the viewer is left to fill in the blanks. Viewers don't normally come to the conclusion that creators are in each other's videos for business. They know this, of course, viewers aren't dumb, but they perceive their main motivation for collaboration as mutual liking. They collab so much because they're friends. As the controversy of Colleen pressured Rosanna to speak, she released a statement on Twitter. Pause to read the whole thing, but she essentially describes a shallow friendship. The time she spent with Colleen were all wholesome and with family. Rosanna was unaware of this whole drama circle that Colleen was in, which I felt was a fair response. I know many would disagree with me, but to me, Rosanna would be like a work friend to Colleen, while the controversy involved her core relationships. Man, I really did do my best to get into the mindset of all the people who wanted a statement from Rosanna. This video by Peter Mon describes their sentiment the best.
I know that she was in several videos, like 6 to 10 videos with Colleen Ballinger. I know that she had a personal relationship with Colleen Ballinger. I know that she says in here that her nephew interacted with Colleen's son and things like that, and that she went to birthday parties of Colleen Ballinger, she went to premieres of Colleen Ballinger's, she went to Christmas parties with Colleen Ballinger. So, Rosanna Pansino even comes out in this tweet and says that she had a personal relationship with Colleen Ballinger. She talks about her nephew being friends with Colleen Ballinger's son and things like that. So for all the people that came for me in the previous video and said that Rosanna Pansino never had a personal relationship with Colleen Ballinger, I'll accept your apology in the comment section below.
Yeah, dude, I think we're just going to have to agree to disagree. I think Rosanna put out her tweet because of the pressure rather than this being an admission that they were friends. My perception of their relationship, like I said, is very coworker-like. The premieres, the parties, they're all based on work. Like, Corey and Colleen very clearly are friends, you can tell. I was even trying to look for B-roll of Colleen and Rosanna, and it was so difficult. Like, I was looking for something where they were more casual, but most of it was based on work. Even the portion with her nephew playing with her son, it's like, so what? My parents had to be friendly with other parents too from school because I was friends with their kid. It doesn't mean that they were friends though. After finding out about the scandal, Rosanna states that she has ceased all communication with her. This makes me conclude that the friendship was indeed shallow. Good friends would probably handle this in private, but whatever their actual level of friendship is, the more interesting thing to me was how the illusion of proximity painted an image of a close friendship. Again, maybe I'm wrong here, but Rosanna was so outside the story, I didn't think a statement from her was necessary. What about Logan Paul and George Janko? So these guys are obviously not friends now, but were they before? You guys could not agree with each other because it is a tie between probably not and not friends anymore. I'm going with the probably not side of the viewers. This is a weird one to judge because I always wonder, once you become famous, is it possible for you to make a genuine friendship with new people, like not at your level? George has known Logan for a long time, you can see that in the vlogs, but Logan was already pretty big on Vine, and he was doing a lot of acting gigs. And so when you're attempting to become this person's friend, you subconsciously know, like, oh, this guy's going places. So for this one, I'm going to place the same asterisk on my decision like I did for Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas. I think both of them felt like they were friends, but if there is a disparity of power, the friendship is built on shaky foundations.
I met him at a gym, but when I met him, he was a Viner, and I didn't even know Vine was a thing. So I thought I just knew him from Facebook clips. He wasn't anywhere near the stature he was. Like, I'm bigger than he was then by a long shot, and that should say a lot.
As he states, he had a bigger follower count than Logan on Vine, but the fact that they're both aspiring influencers kinda complicates things. When Logan's influence began to massively outpace George's, the imbalance in power crushed the last pillar of friendship: reciprocity. Reciprocity involves mutual exchange and the balance of a give and take in a relationship. A friendship involves two or more people of equal power. If one person holds more power than the others, well then, that's like a boss and employee type relationship. The success of Logan and Impulsive created this imbalance for George.
But it's still hard to like not always thank him, like consistently over and over again, because I have no problem telling people where I came from. You know what I mean? Like I don't care about like, oh, I'm here, he's here, whatever, none of that.
All friendships have conflict that they must work through. This is how growth happens. But in this case, if you upset your friend, you put yourself in the danger of losing all the benefits your powerful friend has bestowed on you.
Here's the thing, you guys gang up on me. I'm so helpless over here.
A healthy conversation. You brought it to like Mike and not like about the conversation.
Name calling, everything you do in your life is for money and fame.
And it's just like a funnel, dude. Like I got to do stand-up because of it. I met some really cool people that I look up to and became friends with. Financially, it's put me on a different level. Being known has put me on a different level.
You can see this playing out perfectly in the episode guest starring Bobby Lee. Now, Bobby Lee's comedy can sometimes be akin to the scene in Jackass the movie where Party Boy chases another cast member, Ryan Dunn, while exposing himself. Yeah, not my cup of tea either. But it works in this situation because these cast members are equal in power and consent. Not knowing the dynamic of Impulsive, Bobby does his thing.
Smell my because I have no cologne here, but I spray the on my dick.
Why?
Maybe, Mike, you want to smell?
I would.
No, you are. No, you are.
No question.
I'm not going to pull it out. I'm going to just do the underwear.
Question.
It would be him. It would be George.
Yeah, George.
George does not express that he's uncomfortable during the filming of this episode, but he is. And I know many will argue that George could have done what Mike did, just say no. But the imbalance in power makes this difficult. Now, this will be edited for brevity, but watch all the times Mike and Logan, essentially his bosses, pressure him into being in an uncomfortable situation.
Smell his dick.
Oh, his ass is out.
It's material, George.
Yeah. So here.
Put your hand back on his leg, Bobby.
Yeah. Does that make you feel uncomfortable?
No.
Oh, it's so close.
Wait. So
No,
Bobby,
Bobby, Lee,
No,
stop.
too much?
Bobby,
All right.
stop.
So it's generally understood.
Sorry. I don't know where your boundaries are. I apologize.
Yo, your
All right,
team.
George ends up walking off during the filming of the episode. Viewers interpret this as George not being able to take Bobby Lee's roasting. When George eventually starts his own podcast, he reveals that he was uncomfortable.
I never had a problem with Bobby Lee.
No, he knows
I had a problem with the way that Logan and you were kind of gassing him to keep doing. He started the episode putting his balls in my face. I let that one go. Then every 2 seconds, he kept grabbing my dick.
I don't think...
How would you feel if a man that has his back completely towards you, that only turns around to grab your dick,
Right.
talk shit to your face, and you can't smack or beat the living breaks off of this guy? Because Logan makes me apologize to this man, or I don't have a job on Impulsive anymore.
The only thing they seem to have in common is proximity and perhaps chemistry. In terms of similarity, they can't even agree on letting each other believe in whatever religion they believe.
One that really hurt me is you told me I need a therapist because I believe in Jesus.
No,
That one hurt me.
No, I didn't. I said you need a therapist because Jesus isn't quite doing it for you,
No, you
which
didn't.
is
No, you
which
didn't.
is true.
No, you didn't.
I said,
I don't want to stand down.
Listen, I don't think George was 100% right in this conversation, but why would Logan even be speaking to him in that way? Now, the podcast dynamic is just one example where you see a lack of reciprocity and the reason why George left, but a major part of it was also money related. As you can see, it is almost impossible for a deep friendship to be sustainable in these conditions. One person will always be motivated to bend to the whims of the person with more power. This prevents growth in a friendship. Last one, Rhett and Link. Fake! No, friends in real life. Dude, Rhett and Link's friendship is so strong that they're the only dynamic that you guys, 85% of you guys agreed that, yeah, they're friends.
On the first day of first grade, we were both held in from recess for writing nasty words on our desks. I wrote, hell.
And I wrote, damn. I'm going to say, yeah, and that's when we met. Our teacher, Miss Locklear, held us in
from recess and made us, let's just say it together, color pictures of mythical beasts.
That's an embellished version of their story they use in interviews.
This is the entertainment version of Rhett and Link, having a cool packaged story that is largely true, but embellished to a point to make it snappy and funny.
I wanted the last dynamic to show a friendship that has been built on the strong pillars we talked about today.
Breathe in. Oh, refreshing.
Rhett and Link's friendship is rooted in proximity.
One of the main forces that brought us together, and it superseded school, was church. Even the years that we weren't in the same class, we were spending our youth group time and
true.
church time together, and we were very close in that world.
It's also rooted in similarities based on the faith of their parents and their community.
You followed your parents' example, and I kind of followed your family's example of like being super committed. That was, from a very early age, our identity as people was our evangelical belief system.
And I think that the fact that we both lashed onto it so hard
really brought us together.
Is what made us such good friends.
They even both got their degrees in engineering. Their formative years together in North Carolina show you how proximity and similarity can build a strong foundation of friendship.
And when you find other people who think exactly the same way, it creates an incredible bond. It's the reason that we ended up staying such good friends through all that. And it's the reason that we went to college together. It's the reason that we went on staff together. It's the reason that we're sitting right here at this table.
And you would think that this identity, the religion that became so ingrained in them, would break their friendship if one ever deviated. You would think that.
I mean, listen, we didn't believe that evolution happened. We believed that Adam and Eve were real. We believed that what is in the book of Genesis was like history. I would start asking these questions, and then I would like go to my pastor, go to these other people. I would ask them questions, and I didn't get satisfactory answers. And then it just was like a house of cards that was slowly falling until I remember writing in my journal, I'm pretty sure I don't believe any of this stuff anymore, right? But all along the way, I would like when I told my wife that I thought evolution had happened, she burst into tears. I just want to give you an idea of where we come from and the worldview that we were all sort of held captive to.
Though identity is strong, as cheesy as it sounds, relationships built on strong foundations can be stronger.
I've had the time of my life.
We roll on.
I never felt this way before.
Never felt
I swear.
Unlike Logan and George's conversation about religion, where they constantly butt heads and seem like no one wanted to back down, there was more of a reciprocal relationship where Link actually listened without judgment to Rhett's deconstruction of their faith.
But Link and I would hang out, and I would be like, bro, let me tell you the last thing that I read that really makes me think that none of this stuff is true. And you would listen.
So if he
and I valued the security of what I had, and I just felt like there was a lot at stake in trying to. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be here for you, and I'm gonna lovingly listen and respond and be a sounding board. But what I'm really gonna do is I'm gonna try to like say, yeah, but let's just kind of tamp all this down. You know, get it out of your system, I think is what I thought at first. And
so what was the switch when you went, yeah?
I mean, it was just the preponderance of it. It just kept coming. I mean, anywhere you look, I mean, it's like it just kept coming.
Instead of telling his friend what to do or what to believe, he listened. Because we weren't at the origin of their friendship, we'll never actually know if they had chemistry in the beginning, but it's safe to assume that they did because it's present in their content.
We got colonoscopies
together.
We're calling this a brolonoscopy.
We were just trying to create things to make people laugh. But what we ended up finding is that a lot of what the appeal was is people just wanted to be the third friend in this duo. People responded not just to us individually, but us together. There was some dynamic that they were observing.
If I had a beak, this would be easier. A beak.
And then we began to learn what it was that was appealing about that and be able to package that in a way that was entertaining to an audience, but also fun for us to do for a very, very long time.
Alright guys, back to the beginning of this video. Why does this matter? So I was sent a strongly worded DM one time that I shouldn't be friends with a certain influencer. Not gonna say who, for obvious reasons, but I was so confused. I had never met this person in real life, barely exchanged any words with them. Maybe through public comments or something, but that's the only thing I can think of where we interacted somehow. So I was so confused that I responded back to this person, hey, I think you sent this DM to the wrong person. And then they responded with something like, no, you both follow each other on Twitter.
You need to leave!
Bro, me and John Cena follow each other on Twitter. What are you talking about? No, but I thought that whole exchange was so interesting, how certain things like follows affect how people perceive online friendships. But in reality, the viewer doesn't have an idea of what goes on in real life. Fascinating. Oh, and just so you know, this channel is based on looking for stories around internet culture and pop culture, so yeah, I do follow everyone. That's the end of the video. I will see you guys next time. Stay psyched.